Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you've had a lovely Christmas. Happy New Year's to you all. First video of 2021. We're gonna start off this year good. We're gonna do a good year. So I have a few kind of things I want to kind of like update you on. If you are here from the beginning of my videos, thank you so much. I love you all so much and your support is just absolutely amazing. If you are new, hello, I'm Donna. So I'm going to give a little rundown for any of them that are new, any new followers, anyone new that's kind of just logging on at the moment. Just kind of give you a rundown of kind of like what's going on at the moment. So for those who have been here, you would know that me and myself and Paul, there was like 3 people in there. Myself and Paul moved out last November out of our apartment and we moved in with his mum. We were saving for a house. We were looking to buy a house and we were getting married in February. So we decided that we'd just kind of take the plunge and just kind of like just to save a lot more, because obviously rent is just crazy at the moment. And so yeah, that's what we kind of decided to do. Yeah, so that's kind of like the rundown of why we moved out and things like that. With everything that's going on at the moment, and like you can just imagine everywhere in the world is exactly the same. It's just, oh, it just feels like it's never going to end. It's horrible. But yeah, so unfortunately Ireland is back into lockdown again under kind of much more stricter restrictions and so on. But we were so happy that for Christmas we were able to actually get to see some of our family, which was lovely. And I spent Christmas Day with my parents and Paul spent it here with his parents and you know, and his family, and it was really nice. It was just nice to see everyone again, and you know, and obviously being safe and all. It was just such a small Christmas this year, like compared to what we normally have. Like we normally have everyone at it, like, and normally with my parents we could have anything up to 18 people. So it was crazy how small it was, but it was actually really nice as well. And obviously with being a cook, my mum cooks for us all, so it was nice. It was nice for her to be able to actually enjoy the day as well, compared to serving for 18 people. You could just imagine how many, like, you wouldn't even get a minute to even sit down or have a cup of tea or anything, you know. So it was actually really nice for her to just have the couple of us, which was really nice. And I've only one brother as well, so we have a small family, so it was really nice. Paul actually got me like a nice spa day for Christmas as well, and I cannot wait to use it when restrictions are lifted and it's safe to do so, and you know, I just can't wait for that. So yeah, I was going to pick up the camera on Christmas Day, completely forgot all about it, and was going to kind of do our gift exchange and things like that. So yeah, that's what I wanted to do, and then I realised we opened all our presents. I was like, I forgot to bring the camera, and then I was like, right, it's fine, it's grand. So yeah, no, he got me a spa day and like a few little things, and it was just lovely. It was really nice. But yeah, let's get on to the heavy stuff. So if you are new, we were meant to get married in February, so that's 7 weeks. We met with our wedding manager Thursday, so today is Saturday, so on Thursday we met with her, to just because of numbers being small, like, so we were planning on probably having between 100 and 120 at our wedding. So obviously we viewed a room for that many people. Due to being smaller numbers, they kind of move rooms, so it's a smaller room basically, and we haven't seen this room, so we kind of just said, you know what, can we see the room and kind of go through the rundown of everything that is happening basically, do you know what I mean? At the moment it's 6 people. We were kind of settling on kind of 25, so if it was 25 we'd be like, yeah, that's totally cool, we'll do that. 6 obviously is just so little. It wouldn't be the family that I would love to be there. Obviously there would be family that would be so close to me, but it's just too little, and we decided that, you know, there's no point in going ahead if it was that. So we sat down with our wedding manager to go through obviously everything, you know, what's going on as well. She sat us down and she just said, look, I'm not going to mess you around or anything like that. I can't see your wedding February going ahead. So I was like, okay. So that kind of took a bit of a hit. I was like, oh my god, okay, we weren't expecting obviously to be sitting down the minute we get there and being told, look, there's a 99% chance that your wedding's not going to happen. So it was like, okay. But after I was kind of talking to her and, you know, having a little breather and kind of being like, it was the best decision to make. In fairness though, if it was 6 still coming towards February, we would have postponed in anyway. So we were kind of very grateful for the hotel to say to us, look, 7 weeks to go. I don't want to tell you a few days before your wedding. I don't want to tell you a week before your wedding. You're going to be so stressed out and I don't want to put any more stress on you. So I'm letting you know now. So I said, and I'm so happy and grateful that she did tell us that it was like 7 weeks to go, and it's like, okay, the last kind of bits are getting ready and getting done, and there's no point in stressing over it, you know. So I said, you know what, you're totally right. With regards to restrictions at the moment, our hotel is actually shut. She did obviously tell us that, look, we'll give you your money back, you can go elsewhere, because other hotels are accommodating 6 people, 25 people, it just depends really. But during restrictions, they're not doing that, and I was really happy to hear that as well, because I was like, they're not just thinking of the money, and I was like, oh, that's really good that they're actually thinking of their staff, they're thinking of us, they're thinking of our families. They don't think it's safe, so it's kind of like, you know, why should we go ahead? And I just, even when we were sitting in the car, myself and Paul were sitting there going, it'd be very selfish of us to go ahead, because obviously there is family members that have underlying health conditions, and there is also my nana there, do you know what I mean? So things like that, like, you know, people that are very close to us, we don't want to kind of risk obviously something happening. But yeah, so we took the plunge and we were able to see the rooms, which was really nice as well, because she said, look, we were hoping by the summer, she said, to have about 50 people. She said, obviously I can't see that happening now, but she said, if you're happy to go with 25, and we were delighted to go with 25 even, you know, obviously it isn't everyone. It's not like our whole family. Like, we do come from families that are quite large from either sides. It would consist of mainly just immediate family, where it's kind of like my aunties can go, but my cousins can't go, you know, it's things like that, and we're very close as a family. So it would be obviously lovely to have all my cousins there, and, you know, like, we're very close, and, you know, so it is hard, and it's a hard decision to make, and it's horrible decision to make as well, in a way, you know, like, you're putting out this list, and like, everyone's so comforting as well, do you know, that way. So a lot of my side of the family that were kind of like, look, we understand, it's only 25 people, go ahead with your own family kind of thing. Some people don't feel comfortable going, and that's totally understandable. So we were kind of thinking 25 would be nice because it's comfortable. I want everyone that's going to be there comfortable. I don't want anyone feeling like, oh god, we can't keep our distance away from each other, and, you know, that kind of way. So I still want to keep it intimate without being on top of each other. So 25 I think is a perfect amount. Ideally, yeah, we would obviously love to have more. It's just the way the world is at the moment. We could postpone till next year, but we do want to get married, and, you know, it is a tough decision to make. It's kind of like, alright, do we wait till next year and have everyone there? But then I was saying, what if we wait till next year and we are in a better place? Obviously, hopefully the world is a little bit more normal, but would everyone still feel comfortable going? You know, that's kind of where we were kind of getting at as well. We were kind of like, well, you could hold off till next year, but then you're kind of thinking, you know, you might still only have the numbers that you'll have this year. You know, maybe a lot of people might say, look, I actually, not in a bad way or, you know, nothing like that, but they might just say, look, I just don't feel comfortable doing it and going and sitting there amongst people, like, and that's totally fine, you know. So yeah, that's why we decided that we were going to postpone. So February was meant to be our original month, so we're kind of looking at around May now, so hopefully by then we'll kind of get the numbers, we'll be able to have a band, you know, things like that, little things like that. But the only thing is though, because everything is booked, it's kind of like really hard to kind of just change over, and especially in the matter of a few months. It's not like as if it's a year or 2 years away, you know. It is a lot, like, and you're like, you know, thank God most of our suppliers are actually free on kind of most of that kind of month, you know, which is fantastic, like, which is great. Now there obviously is a few, the likes of our band can't do it, so it's kind of like, God, it's like starting all over again, you know. It's kind of like, geez, I've only a few months or 4 months and I feel like I have to plan a whole wedding again. It's crazy, I know, like, it is mad. Like, when you think our wedding was 7 weeks away, we were ready, like, as ready as I suppose we can be. Now the only thing is that we were lacking was the groomsmen's suits, so in a way it's kind of good to kind of postpone it a little bit extra, just give us more time. Obviously there's no shops open at the moment, you can obviously order online, but especially with suits and things like that, I just feel like a lot of people would prefer to kind of try them on, also to see kind of colours scheme kind of thing, what suits people and what doesn't suit people. You kind of have all that, and obviously you have the experience of it, you know, going out and actually trying on these things, you know. It is hard, like, so we just, as much as like we are good about obviously our wedding can go ahead on the original day, we're looking at it as a positive as well. Hopefully the world will be a little bit normal back there in May. Hopefully we're able to maybe have our 25 people, which would be fantastic. Obviously it's so unsure, but the hotel were kind of just saying to me, look, the earliest I'd kind of start looking at would be May. She said, no, you could do April, but you know what I mean, April could be the same, you know, as well. So she said, at least if you give May, it's kind of like that extra month to kind of hopefully get everything kind of back to normal again. So yeah, so it was kind of like a stressful few days of that. So that was a bit like of a bummer. I was like, God, we were literally going in to chat about the rooms and different things like that, and I was kind of like, oh, you know, you're telling me now it's not going ahead. And it's like, no, and I'm so grateful that she did, you know, like, thank God that they did tell me that, because we probably would have waited and hoped for the best that we were going to get 25, and it's just not going to happen, and it's unrealistic. And we were just kind of like, you know what, maybe she's right, maybe we should be looking at kind of, do you know what, maybe we should just postpone even a little bit. And I said, we will have our day and it'll be perfect and it'll be the way we want it to be. So I said, there's no point doing that now. Obviously we wouldn't regret, but you would regret little bits going, like, you know, you can't have obviously live music at the moment, you know, like things like that kind of make a wedding as well. Like, you obviously want a bit of music in the background, you like the likes of the couple that you want your first dance, you know, little things like that, you know, that make it, like. So we decided that we're gonna postpone. We haven't really set a date at the moment. I said we'll just kind of work with it. I'm trying to just get back onto kind of suppliers and things like that to make sure 100% they're free that day and we can go ahead with that date, you know. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, that the world will be a little bit more normal back then in May. So yeah, so that's kind of the rundown. Like, we are kind of like prepared, and we had everything, and I was like, oh, and I was even showing you the favors, and I was like, oh, I said it was just crazy. And I said the reason why we wanted February was that we were getting like a winter team, and I said, can you still have a winter team in May? I said, I'm hoping. So the hotel are gonna get onto the suppliers for the winter team, and just to see, because I said that's what I fell in love with and that's what I really wanted. So I suppose May could be a winter team for us. And it's be fine. But yeah, no, that's kind of like the rundown of kind of what's happening at the moment. But I suppose we will get there in the end. And yeah, so like we said we'll just keep it with this year. You know, we said we're definitely gonna get married this year, and that's just the way it is. Obviously we planned this like 2 years ago. I think if we were told 2 years ago this would happen, we'd probably just laugh and say, yeah, right. And now we're sitting here going, oh my god, will we ever get out of it? You know, it's crazy. Yeah, so, but I'm taking it as a positive, you know, and keeping everyone safe, ourselves safe, our family safe, and obviously the hotel and staff safe as well. Do you know, it's not fair on anyone to be kind of like be put in that kind of position anyway. So yeah, so we decided that yeah, we're gonna still stick with this year. We're staying positive for this year, but just having it a few months down the line. But hopefully by then we'll get our day and it'll be just perfect. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk on today. Oh, and another thing that I was going to say is that we were looking into obviously buying a house this year. Another thing that's gone out the window. So yeah, so it's a bit of a horrible year, I think, so far. It's starting out, but I'm keeping it positive for the middle and the end of the year. So yeah, no, we kind of applied kind of for having like our mortgage and stuff like that. Obviously, yeah, everyone's probably in the same boat. You're probably the same, because I am in a hairdressing section. I am in that sector, it's closed at the moment. So because of the uncertainty and things like that, they obviously can't give anyone funds out really at the moment, unless you're kind of off that scheme of getting the payment. So that's a bit of a bummer too. But yeah, so it was kind of just like a smack in the face really at the start of the year. Do you know, it wasn't what we thought. We definitely thought 2021, it's so our year. This is our year. This is gonna be the best year ever. And then it was kind of like, oh, you can't really have anything you want this year. And I know everyone is probably in the same boat, and I feel for every single person out there that is planning weddings, that is planning to move out, that is planning to rent their first apartment, that are planning to buy their first home. It's a hard one. It's a hard year, you know, it is hard. And just to know that we are all here together, and you know, we will get there in the end. I'm staying so positive for the end of the year, and you know, it's just the way to be. It's a tough one. It is so hard, but just stick it out and we will get there in the end. And you know, it'll be tough, but we will get exactly what we want, and everyone will be happy and safe. And you know, it's just a horrible kind of one, you know, especially like when you've planned, obviously last year planning from, we moved out of our apartment to save, and now we're kind of like, okay, we're ready to go. And it's kind of like, oh well, you can't go anywhere because you're not working basically. And it's like, oh, it's so annoying, you know, it is so annoying. But in a way I'm kind of happy that obviously like some banks are obviously giving you that kind of like approval kind of thing. The only thing they're saying is that you have to be off this payment 3 months before you down draw. Now you could be like, right, find the house of your dreams, and you could say, right, that's the house, and they could say to you, right, it is ready in 4 or 5 months, but you're still on that payment. You're gonna lose that house, do you know, that kind of way. So in a way I'm kind of happy that they said to me, again, like the hotel, they've said to me prior, before I've done anything, do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay, look, I'm letting you know now, look, it's not gonna happen. And you know, obviously, yeah, you're gutted at the time. You're like, oh god, like what am I gonna do? Like, you know, I've planned, like, so I'm kind of like that not organized person, because I'm not really organized at all, but it's kind of like, you know, where you kind of have your life set out, if you get me. You're kind of like, right, this month I'm gonna do this, and this month and this, when I get to this age I want to do this. Do you know that kind of way? I'm kind of like really like that person, do you know, that kind of way. I'm real like, right, by this age I want to accomplish this, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. And it's kind of like, you can't do them things now. It's kind of like, okay, this year is kind of, and especially last year as well, it was kind of like, it just kind of skipped over us, and like nothing happened. There was no holidays, there was nothing to look forward to. It was kind of like birthdays, you couldn't even go out, you couldn't celebrate with your friends, you couldn't do anything. It was kind of like, oh god, like, you know, like this year it's kind of like, we were meant to get married at this time, and we were meant to get a house by this time, and like obviously the world doesn't revolve around that. It does not do that. Like, you know, there's gonna be roadworks in the way everywhere, and that's just the way it's going to be. There's going to be barriers in your life that are going to just stop you from doing what you're doing, and you know, and that's okay. You know, I think once you kind of sit down with yourself, think about it, talk with a partner, talk with a family member. If you feel very anxious, you feel very, you know, you know, you talk to someone. It's like, and you know, and we're all going through it at the moment, you know. Like, I feel for people like that as well. Like, you know, I'm like, there's a lot of people out there that are in the same position as me, and they're sitting there going, do you know what I mean? We need to, like, you know, just talk about it with someone at home, or if you do feel very anxious and things like that. Like, I'm a very anxious person. I'm like, I definitely think I suffer with some sort of anxiety, because I'm very, like, I get quite panicked, and I get very panicked if my life isn't set. Do you know, that kind of way? And I'm kind of like, right, at this age, like, take for example actually the wedding. I was like thinking, okay, so I'm gonna be married, like, I'm 27 now, I'm 28 in April, so it's kind of like, okay, I'm getting married February, so that means my birthday's 2 months, well actually it was the end of February, so just say a month and a bit, just say. Now, but in my head, that was great. It was like, okay, I'm gonna be married at 27. Okay, this is grand. Now I'm kind of thinking in my head going, okay, even though it's my mind playing tricks on me, even though it's probably the exact same time frame, but it kind of feels like it's a year, if you get me. So it's kind of like, okay, now I'm 28 getting married. Now I'm like, oh my god, like, you know, I wanted to kind of by now to kind of be married and like be able to start looking for the house, and by Christmas. Now these are all in my mind. You know, houses don't just build overnight. And this is all in my brain, and this is how my brain works. It's kind of like, right, by Christmas we're in our house. Okay, so that's grand. We're gonna be married. I'm gonna be 27, right? So I'm gonna be 28 getting a house. So I'm like, okay, they're kind of fixed. You know, that kind of way you fix them into your brain of, okay, this age I'm gonna accomplish this, and that's just the way my brain works. It's kind of like, and now I'm thinking in my brain going, okay, I'm gonna be 28 getting married. Will I even get the house by Christmas? Will I get the house by next year? It's like, and then you're thinking in your head going, geez, then I'll be 29, and then I'm like, oh my god, like, I hate this. This is the part of me that I hate, that it's just, my brain just flickers and flickers. It's like, stop thinking about all this stuff. Instead of just saying, just chill out, relax, take every day as it comes, and it will happen. I'm staying so positive for the end of the year, because I just think at the moment positive is a good thing to be keeping at the moment. So yeah, so that's what I've been kind of doing at the moment, being positive, being like, right, minute I get back to work, a few months down the line, maybe a month or two, start applying again, go back through the process again, and then say, right, you know, just do step by step, day by day. And like, I'm telling you, so I can't even think of that. I'm like, but like, that's just the way my brain works at the moment. And it's just, actually, it's not just at the moment, it's been my whole life nearly, you know. I feel like you kind of, it's weird, it's a weird kind of thing, like, to have. I hate having it, because like, I even say to Paul, I'm like, I feel panicked, and you're kind of, and he's like, panicked over what? Like, it's not in your control. It's, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I know. And see, I think that's what makes me anxious, that I'm not in control of these things. That, like, you know, for likes of the wedding, you're kind of thinking, all right, I'm in control of the wedding, and it's like, right, we're not even in control of that. And that's the world basically making up the mind of whether we're going ahead or not. Do you know that way? Same as the house. It's kind of like, you need that approval. You need them to say, yeah, we're happy enough to give you that. So it's kind of like, it is so out of our control. Like, But in my head, I'm like, I need to be in control of everything that I do. It's like, it's impossible to do that. But yeah, no, that's kind of like what I wanted to chat on you today. I want you to know that you're not alone. I'm hoping that if you are going through exactly what I'm going through, I'm here for you. I feel your pain, and I know exactly what it's like to basically have your life set up and have it kind of taken away. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is at the moment. But the only thing is that I'm still looking at it as a positive, which even my family were like surprised. They're like, oh, you sound okay, like. And I was like, yeah, do you know what, I am okay. I said, obviously, yeah, I'm good, and you know, obviously, like, you know, but I said, like, we'll get our day. And that's what I keep saying to everyone. I said, we will have our day. One day we will have our day and it'll be perfect. And that's all you have to keep remembering. Do you know, we will have our day. Our day will come and it'll be perfect. Same as the house. The house will come around and it'll be perfect. It'll be home, you know, and it's, you know, it is. Like, it is tough, and it's a tough year on everyone. Same as last year. It's very, very tough. And it's tough, like, not seeing family or, you know, seeing anyone. Do you know, it is. It's so weird. Seeing friends. I can't even remember the last time I even seen my friends. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy, like, you know. Same as family, like, you know, you see your family practically, I'd say. Well, because I'm working, I probably wouldn't have been seeing them as much, but you'd see them probably about at least 2-3 times a week, like, do you know what I mean? Even to see my nana, like, you know, it's so hard, like, it is so hard. I'm just hoping that it's a better year than last year. And like they say, it gets worse before it gets better. So I have that feeling that now, look, it's at its worst now, so let's prepare for it to be getting better. It has to get better. Like, seriously. But yeah, so I'm going to stop rambling and ranting, and I kind of knew I was going to be a ranting kind of one, but anyway, yeah, so I'm going to leave it where it is. I hope you enjoyed this video. I want you to know I am with you on every step of this way. If you are planning a wedding, you could be just at the beginning of planning a wedding, being unsure of anything, you know, anything like that. I'm with you on that, and I feel for anyone that had to postpone or that has obviously applied for a house and they didn't get it in the end, you know. So, but all I can say is stay positive, stay safe and stay well. So yeah, I'll leave this video where it is. I hope you enjoyed my rant and going on about everything. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave this video where it is. I will talk to you to the next one, and I'll talk to you, and stay safe and stay well. Bye.